if your employees are volunteering in the community,
Yeah.
that is community building at its best.
Right. We're talking about soccer because I know you're involved with BASA.
Yeah.
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 So one thing I would say right off the bat that Gigi had a game there, I think last week, like a weeknight game, and the fields used to be, particularly after a lot of rain, there was a lot of mud. The drainage wasn't great, but it looks like you guys improved that.
Yeah, we actually
significantly.
did some tile work on the south side of the complex,
Yeah.
and we baby them a little bit. They were really wet this year.
Okay.
I mean, everything's wet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Farm
yeah.
fields. You look in a farm field, that's how the soccer complex
Sure. Yeah.
feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the goal boxes are a little soft, but in general,
Yeah.
pretty decent fields.
So what has your involvement with BASA been like over the years?
Yeah, so I've been on the board for, oh boy,
And BASA, just let me
yeah.
stop. Bay Area Soccer
Bay
Association
Area
for
Soccer
anybody
Association.
that doesn't know.
Yeah, I've been on the board for about 8 years there and served 3 years as president. I guess I'm the immediate past president now.
Okay.
But we, my role is all kinds of different things. I do most of our summer programming, so
Yep.
connecting with kids with camps and
Yeah.
opportunities to play. We host a summer 3v3 tournament in August, and so yeah, it's been very busy. And of course, the big project that I undertook took me several years to do it.
Yeah.
Had some great partners. We built a futsal and basketball complex over on Bay City's east side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's at Maplewood Park,
Wow.
which is right near downtown.
Yeah.
And
This is an indoor or outdoor?
It's an outdoor facility.
Okay.
We took an old, it was a park, and we took some old tennis courts.
Yeah.
And we renovated them. We raised $600,000 and built 2 futsal
Yeah.
fields, mini pitches they
Yeah.
call them, and 3 new basketball courts. And the city jumped in and invested about $1 million of its money to make improvements throughout the park. And
Yeah.
we created a really, really nice
That's terrific.
outdoor recreation center.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
neighborhood building, community
Yeah,
development.
Yeah. Which gets into our topic today, talking about community giving back.
Absolutely.
And kind of sort of the why, and some businesses choose to do it and others choose not to. So what at that time, like what was your why? What got you involved? And
Yeah, for that project
Yeah.
at Maplewood Park. Really, most really good ideas, I say, start with a conversation and an idea, or an observation
Yeah.
and an idea. And for us, it was that most of our players at the Soccer Association were coming from the west side of Bay City
Okay.
or Essexville,
Yep.
and we didn't have a lot of kids from the east side playing.
Oh, okay.
And literally was at a friend's house one night and just said, how do we get BASA to the other side of the river?
Yeah.
And that little spark
Yeah.
was all it took. And then you start to form partnerships.
Yeah.
And that project, BASA led that, but we had the city of Bay City as a partner.
Okay.
We had the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce,
Yep.
their minority business partnership
Okay.
as a partner, and then the U.S. Soccer Foundation as
Oh,
a partner.
wow. Yeah.
So you harness all this energy and all
Yeah.
these great people, and all of a sudden you've put together a really neat project. And it really just started with a conversation in a house in Bay City.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some what you would expect, I guess, supporters, right? The city, the chamber,
Yeah.
and then U.S. Soccer.
Yeah.
What were some of the businesses that you were able to get to support you? And,
Yeah, so we really did it all through grant writing
Okay.
from the local private foundations.
Okay, yep.
We had support from all over the region, and it was great. We held 2 fundraisers.
Okay.
That certainly helped, spread the word and bring
Sure.
in some dollars. It was really interesting when we launched into that project. We were just going to build some soccer fields.
Yeah.
And then I got a call one day from the chamber president at the time, and he said, our minority business partnership wants to redo the basketball courts there.
Yeah.
You guys should meet. So
Yeah.
I met Ali Smith. He was president of the minority business partnership at the time.
Okay.
And we just said, we're both kind of doing the same thing. Let's put our projects together
Yeah.
and make one ask
Yeah.
for dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And so, these are the partnerships that you form because you've built good relationships.
Sure.
And so a lot of serendipity
Yeah.
was involved in
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but the ability to see the value of the partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So were there any for-profit businesses that supported the
There
project?
were a few, yeah, but
Okay.
mostly it was just raised through private foundations.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Because what I really want to talk about today is sort of for-profit businesses and how they support community, why they support community. Some businesses do it maybe just out of goodwill, building trust, whatnot. But I don't know, what's your experience been with for-profit business? I mean, you've worked in for-profit businesses most of your career. So
yeah, and it's in many cases the work I've done has been in that space.
okay,
So I always like to say it's all about community building.
sure,
Right? So how can businesses play a role in building their communities? And really, when I step back and think about it, there's three ways that a business can do that.
yep,
One is through, obviously, philanthropy.
Yep.
They can give their dollars. They can get their logo
Sure.
on a T-shirt.
yeah,
They can sponsor an event.
right,
And in doing so, support a nonprofit
Yep.
in many cases, or a chamber of commerce,
Right.
or a business alliance. So philanthropy is the obvious one. But there's two other ways that businesses can really have an impact in community building that I think are really important to mention.
yeah,
One is volunteerism.
oh yeah,
And especially if your company has several dozen employees,
Sure.
hundreds of employees, thousands of employees, whatever level it is, if your employees are volunteering in the community,
yeah,
that is community building at its best.
right,
Boots on the ground,
yeah.
feet on the street.
To stop you there, because I know you've got a third. And this is becoming more of an interview than I intended, but I know that you just had a big community building project in Bay City, something you've been involved with for a long time. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, we did. It was the United Way Day of Caring
Okay.
and the Winona Park Cleanup Day.
Okay.
So I was the founder of Winona Park Cleanup Day in 2014. It was a small effort it started really to refresh and repaint a sculpture that is in our park downtown.
Yeah.
And I, at the time, was working for the Bay City Times. I wrote a Sunday column.
Okay.
I looked out the window of my office and saw this sculpture. It's called the Ring of Friendship.
Okay.
Saw that it needed a little freshening up.
Yeah.
So I wrote a column and I said, hey, let's get together. Who's with me?
Yeah.
Let's go down and paint the ring and get it cleaned up. Well, like 40 people showed up.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let's clean up the whole park.
Yeah.
So that went on for several years. And running in congruence with that was the United Way's Day of Caring.
Okay.
And they would annually get anywhere from 40 to 60 volunteers to come and clean up some site in Bay County. Well, 5 years ago, my friend Nicole Luzak, who is an amazing leader at the United Way of Bay County, she said, why don't we combine our events and let's try to build something bigger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Immediate yes. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So this past year, April 24th, we had United Way Day of Caring and Winona Park Cleanup Day. More than 800 volunteers
Yeah. That's what I
from
heard.
all over the community,
Yeah.
cleaning up and sprucing up 39 sites across Bay County.
Wow.
And that's
cool.
to see that kind of response in a community like Bay City, the number of nonprofits that were helped, just unbelievable. And
Yeah.
again, it's partnerships.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's a great correlation between the two topics that we've talked about. Okay. So backing up, you mentioned there was three things. What was the third?
The third is what I like to call thought leadership.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of volunteerism. You have to have your leaders of your company or your employees of your company engage in ways that help drive thought leadership in a community. So a lot of times that's through board service.
Yeah.
Okay. So are your employees serving on a board?
Right.
Are they on committees? Now, some of that is actionable, but a lot of it is strategic planning
Yeah.
and helping organizations move forward strategically. So those three things really, philanthropy, volunteerism, and thought leadership
Yeah.
are really great ways for businesses to be involved in community building.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's great to share. I mean, I know we put together a list. We were trying to get a handle on what boards we were serving on here in Midland, and we came up with a list that was a couple pages long. And I would guess we have, I would say right now, 25 employees in Midland, and I'm probably going to underestimate. I would guess at least 50 to 75 different organizations where we were sitting on boards and taking
That's
care.
incredible.
And that's not to really self-promote TriStar, but it is to talk about culture and when, I don't know, businesses find meaning and community and establishing trust and partnership with the communities they serve.
Talk a little bit more about, you mentioned the word culture.
Yeah.
And for a business to have a culture that not only supports philanthropy, the dollars,
Right.
but supports its employees serving in that capacity or doing volunteer work. Talk a little bit more about culture.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it's hugely important, right? I mean, I think one of the biggest reasons I joined TriStar was because of the culture, and it was this culture of giving back. It was this culture of caring. This business that had a higher purpose to serve community and families. And I think it gives everyone just a greater purpose to get up and do your job every day. Beyond, like, we want to be, and I believe are, a primary and a great source for wealth management, a fantastic source for wealth management, right? So it's not to say that we don't want to be the best at that, because we absolutely do, and I think we are. But beyond that, how are we looking to impact our communities? And it is through that service, and it gives you an additional reason to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the higher purpose idea. This is part of the conscious capitalism idea. It's really a belief that businesses can change the lives of their clients in positive ways, while at the same time positively impacting the communities that they serve, and that those things go hand in hand.
Yeah,
it's really
and the
powerful.
employees, right? So
absolutely.
It's all stakeholders, and finding that there's a way that you can impact more than just, and that you will have a return on investment by investing in your employees and in those things throughout the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So when a company is getting, because there are companies, of course, that maybe don't have an interest or you don't see them out in the community, and they are very profitable. And let's say they were listening and they wanted maybe to understand what the process looked like for, hey, how do we even start this? What does it even look like to get involved in community? And maybe why do we want to get involved in community? Where would you suggest a business to start?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a really good entry point in a lot of communities is through your Chamber of Commerce, or like in Midland, they have the Midland Business Alliance. So these are organizations where, one, you can network. So you can make connections with some of the places where you can eventually have impact. So chambers are a great entryway in any community, I think. The other thing is, just like what we said, begin to create a culture where you are encouraging your employees to be involved. And then actively find ways to help employees be involved. And maybe that starts at the top. Usually it should. But what I have found is that there are many organizations where there are people who have understood how to be involved. They've understood how to open doors for others. And if you can lean on those people for their expertise, there's really, what I've found is, especially for young professionals, they're hungry. They want to give back. I just met a young lady at Day of Caring. She just moved here from Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. And she showed up at Day of Caring, and I said, "How did you find us?" And she said, "Well, I wanted to get involved, and I've only been here 2 months. So I just Googled things to do. And this came up. So I signed up. Well, by the end of the day, I had introduced her to the chamber president, the mayor. I said, let's get your contact information, because we want you to be engaged. And if you have a passion for that, we'll help you connect with where the right fit for you is.
I think that's great, because creating win-wins, right? And I think you're right, as it pertains to like business alliance or chambers or whatnot. great places to network, to get to know people, and to just get yourself embedded in community and learn what the community needs, because it could be a little bit different in each community, even when you're in just a small region like the Great Lakes Bay region, right?
Yeah.
What they need in Saginaw might be slightly different from what we need in Midland, which might be slightly different from what you need in Bay City or Mount Pleasant, right? So
Absolutely.
first things first, what's required? What does the community really need?
That's right.
And how can you align that with your own mission and vision to impact that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Asking questions, listening, and then finding something that you think makes sense for your company, for your employees, for your culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always interested in finding out what people like, what inspires people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are your inspirations? Where do you draw inspiration from? And that could be from your upbringing, from your family.
Yeah.
It could be from the place you work.
Yeah.
It could be from some organization in the community, a social group even. So there's all different places you can draw inspiration from. And once you kind of have identified what inspires me, then the next step is, all right, how do I get involved?
Right.
And there's a lot of ways to get involved.
Yeah.
From everything as simple as if you have a family, your children's school.
Right.
If you go to church, your job, your place of employment. Could you join a service club?
Right.
Could you join a team?
Yeah.
Could you coach?
Yeah.
How are you giving back? What are the things that sort of drive you and inspire you? And then how do you turn that into a way to give back to your community?
Yeah. No, I think it's terrific. Yeah. And for me, selfishly, I think about my kids, right? So
Yeah.
when I think about giving back, and at least part of my why is that I want our communities to be a place where I can draw my children back, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I want them to go spread their wings and do their own thing and find themselves. But if I can be a part of improving or maintaining a community so that my kids want or have a desire to come back, that'd be a win-win for me.
Absolutely. And you're also instilling in them this idea that giving back is a way to not only build their community, but to make a better world, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you talked about philanthropy and you talked about volunteerism. So let's start with philanthropy, because that could be like support, right? Supporting nonprofits, organizations that you want to support. And how do you, or when you think about like what organization am I going to support, how do you align that with what you're trying to accomplish? Or
That's a great question. And I will say that philanthropy, while it's a really important pillar of giving back, especially for companies, I have always found that the best philanthropic work happens when you can forge actual partnerships.
Yeah.
So the way I've always approached philanthropy is it's giving of your dollars, but it's also working to elevate.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to give a nonprofit a sponsorship or a donation, let's say it's to sponsor an event, okay?
Yeah.
Most of those situations allow me to put my corporate logo on a T-shirt or
Right.
on a sign, or it's at the top of the program.
Right.
There's benefits to being a sponsor. But if you really want to elevate an organization, then you try to find a partnership.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example, and it's going to be a TriStar example. We recently signed on to be the presenting sponsor of the Riverside Art Festival in Bay City.
Yeah.
It's an event that happens every year. It's run by the YWCA. And so, we're going to send some dollars. We're going to have our name as the presenting sponsor on the Riverside Art Festival. Well, the YWCA, one of their missions is financial literacy for women.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we have a whole team of people who are interested in financial literacy for women.
Yeah.
And so what we're working to create now is, could we activate some work in the community?
Yeah.
A class. Could we host a class? Could we get our experts in front of some people in conjunction with this event, which is a great community event?
Yeah.
Now that's a partnership that's allowing us to tell our story.
Yeah.
It's allowing us to share our expertise, and it's also elevating a nonprofit organization. Now that's a philanthropic partnership
Yeah.
that means more than just a logo on a T-shirt.
Absolutely. That's getting out, activating it, doing it,
Absolutely.
right? Really,
Yes.
rather, because it's easy to just write a check.
It is.
Right. It could be really simple to just someone comes with you not with an opportunity. It's a really well-known organization in the community where maybe the type of people that you want to do business with attend that type of event. And it's easy to just throw a check at it, but
Absolutely.
to get up,
And there's
and
nothing
actually
wrong
do
with
something.
that.
Yeah, true.
No,
Yeah,
I want to be
we all
clear.
need.
There's nothing wrong with
Everybody
that.
needs funding.
Most
Yeah,
appreciated.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. But I do agree with the most impactful, and I think what I find for our office is when we actually get out and are a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I
do
was going to
something
ask
with
you
it.
about that because I know at all of TriStar's offices,
Mm-hmm.
but I've become well aware that the folks in your office here in Midland, a lot of events. I mean, you guys are out in the
Sure.
community. You're
Yeah.
attending things. You're being part of things. Is that part of the culture? Is that because you're hiring the right kind of people who love to do that kind of thing? How does that?
I
How
do
does that
think,
happen?
yeah.
Is it organic or is it intentional?
Well, I mean, I think it's a lot of different things, right? But I do think it starts with culture and making the right hires, making sure. I mean, we've interviewed sometimes people that really talented people that maybe just don't feel like the right culture fit.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've in the past even making offers to people, really talented people, and wondering to myself, wow, I don't know how they're going to fit in. And maybe it didn't work out for one reason or another. And that kind of stood out as maybe why it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they were great at the job and really enjoyed like the 9 to 5, but didn't want to get involved beyond that. And that's really a big part of what we do. Whether that's with the Midland Center for the Arts or it's with the community center, downtown. We do a lot in downtown Midland as well. So yeah, I think in the end, it's also the leaders within the office leading by example, right?
Yeah.
So showing some of these younger professionals what it looks like to be a community leader, what that means, what kind of commitment is involved in that beyond just the general working hours, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sometimes it means rolling up your sleeves and getting outside and digging dirt or laying down wood chips in a
That's
trail or something like that.
Yeah.
And all those things are great fun and they're great leadership mentoring opportunities, team building opportunities. So, and so when you can take an opportunity like that where you're building team and providing service to the community, that's a win-win. And I'm always trying to find opportunities like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you mentioned team building because when you get back to the why,
Yeah.
yes, it's about helping the community, but you do get a huge benefit
Oh yeah.
from doing these kinds of things. And one of the big things is team building. When your people are out in the community working hand in hand,
Yeah.
standing side by side, boy, does that translate back to increasing productivity at your
Yeah.
company. The best companies, I think, are the ones without cynicism.
Sure.
And I'm going to tie this to this idea of philanthropy, volunteerism,
Yeah.
thought leadership. When you're community building, you don't have time to be cynical
Right.
because you're just trying to build your community.
Yeah.
And so that translates back to the interior of your offices.
Yeah.
And that is a huge benefit. So team building, the right positive attitude that people are coming to work with every day,
Yeah.
that's pretty powerful.
Hugely powerful, right? Because you can train people all day long, but you can't train them to come to work with a smile on their face, right? And to come to work with a positive attitude. And those things are so important because if you can get a bad apple sometimes, and it can
Sure.
infect the atmosphere around you, which will affect performance. So I think, having that positive attitude is really important, and team building is an important part of it.
Absolutely. And it takes a commitment to this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I look around and I attend a lot of community events, and I'm always just so impressed and astonished at the turnout to these things. And Day of Caring is a great example.
Yeah.
When you see 800 people ready to go out and do work in their community,
Oh yeah.
I mean, how can you not have a great day?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Something I find really neat about TriStar too is that we allowed community to basically build a portion of our business, which would be the Philanthropic Solutions Group,
Yeah.
right? Where we help nonprofits and foundations with their board governance and their investment management, things like that. That was a place where we went out into the community, we listened, we discovered that, hey, this is something that we think we can really build upon, and we have an expertise in, particularly with Jack Kidwell and the Philanthropic Solutions Group, and have really, through our community involvement, been really able to grow that business significantly because we did identify it as an opportunity through community support.
Yeah, and it is so much appreciated. I've been with TriStar for 3 months now.
Yeah.
The number of nonprofits that have said, "Oh, I attended your workshop on board governance or nonprofit leadership." That kind of stuff. Number one, nonprofits don't have it in their budget to pay for that kind of expertise and that kind of consulting. So, the fact that it's offered through our Philanthropic Solutions Group is so deeply appreciated in our communities.
Yeah. So, Rob, you mentioned you joined just a few months ago.
Yes.
And I know the public's probably already aware that we're going to be opening up an office in Bay City. Can you get us up to speed on how that's going?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. So I've been with TriStar for 3 months now. I'm working to open an office in downtown Bay City.
Yeah.
We will be at 812 North Water Street.
Yeah.
And it is the office formerly occupied by the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
They have relocated down the street to a new office, and it's about a 4,000 square foot space. We just last week submitted plans to the city for our redesign of the interior of the office, and we'll soon be bidding out that project for a build out inside the office there, and we hope to be open by this fall. We're really excited, and there's a huge buzz in Bay City about TriStar coming to town. TriStar has been involved in Bay City for many, many years, but to have a physical presence there is going to be really powerful. And something interesting has happened, and it relates to this conversation. And I recently wrote about it, did a LinkedIn post.
Okay.
People started telling me as I met them at different events, they would say, "Oh, I'm with TriStar."
Yeah.
And at first I thought they were just telling me as a courtesy, like, I'm a client at TriStar. And that makes a lot of sense, right? What I came to learn is that when people say I'm with TriStar, they weren't just telling me they were a client. They were telling me I'm with you in what your company is trying to do in our communities. It's that higher purpose. It's that community building. It struck me about a month and a half in that that's really what they meant.
Yeah.
Like, there is some power behind that. And, any business that's trying to do community building and philanthropy, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want people to say, I'm with you.
Right. Because ultimately,
I see you. I see what you're doing.
Right.
I see how you're building, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
Boy, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That really struck me, and so much so that it's something I wrote about on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah, and ultimately that results in business for TriStar.
Absolutely.
Right? So
that's how you build your business.
Good. Yeah, we do good, and it's cyclical, and things come around back to us. People want to opt in to do business with TriStar because they do see us, and they have respect and care there, and want to support us.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
Yep.
It's really powerful. I always tell people who are interested in community building, I always tell them kind of the golden rule is don't expect anything in return for what you give. Mm-hmm. The gifts in return will come.
Yes.
The credit will come.
Yep.
But don't go seek it out. Don't do it because you want credit.
Right.
Don't do it because you want to get an award or because you want to be held on a pedestal. That's the wrong reason to community build.
Yep.
If
I
you
agree.
If you do it right,
the
credit will come and the rewards will be many.
Yeah.
So like you said, for a business, the business will grow.
Yeah. There's a return on investment.
Absolutely.
It may not always be obvious, right? Like the people don't necessarily come to you and say, hey, I'm doing business with you because of the work you did at the park.
That's right.
But that probably is one of the reasons that they've chosen to do that.
Yeah.
I'm with you 110%. It's not about the cameras or did you get it? A lot of what we do, we don't promote. So you don't see it. on LinkedIn or on Facebook or something like that, we don't do it for the publicity. We just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
It's the right thing for community, and ultimately there will be a return on investment, and it might not be really obvious, but there will be a result.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to culture again. I mean, this all points back to culture.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah,
for everybody, just so you're aware, Will, the co-host, he's off having baby number 3 right now. So best of luck to you, Will. And thanks for joining us.